Mrs. Mitchell,
Yes,
you're on the phone live. Everyone hears you.
it's okay.
Can you hear us all right?
I can, thank you.
Okay. Okay, the first thing on the agenda today is the authorization for the mayor to sign a resolution of support. Ms. Bland, or mayor?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What you have in front of you is a resolution of support, not unlike what you've seen for other similar projects. The difference is frequently there can be a question of, is this a priority for us? And in this case, I think we know it's a priority because this council and the previous council have voted on this project several times. This is the latest element of the Lot 30 development project. Lot 30 being the lot bound by Fitzwater, Route 50, the river, and Lake Street. The developer, Green Street Housing, is under a land disposition contract with the city of Salisbury and is working to begin the development process. We don't have a construction timeline or anything like that yet. This is a pretty early step, but this is a significant step because this means they're going for state funding. If you look back to our adopted downtown master plan and the resolutions authorizing the entrance into the LDC, you can see that the planned development there is aligned to the resolution you see here tonight. So simply another step forward in the process. What you'll see on the heels of this are a resolution for a pilot and that we do for all projects that include affordable housing, and a resolution soon after that seeking EDU waiver because it's in the EDU free zone. So you'll see a couple things happen in hopefully quick succession. So this will be step one of several. Happy to take any questions.
Questions?
Just a couple of the timeline for getting the credits.
The timeline for getting the EDU credits to you, or the
timeline for
getting
the state.
The state. So they meet in October to vote, I believe, or to do the scoring for the QCT, or for the qualified list. I believe that's an October timeline. We'll reach out to DHCD and get a firm date. I know there will be others that come forward, but this is the city's highest priority, I believe.
If they don't get the credits,
If they don't, what they were actually considering doing at one point was going forward with a very different project. So they may pursue another route, but I imagine that at least this year and next year, you'll see them continue down this road. And we'll be strong supporters of their application. This will help. Seeing a city council resolution will help. No doubt. There's a scoring matrix that is considered. That will help. The pilot will help. The EDU waiver will help. It all shows local contribution, which makes a stronger case for us.
my only concern is that when the economy tanked, all those developers that were willing to purchase land turned around and a lot of them came here going, hey, sign these things for us so we can, we can get these credits from the state so we can make the same amount of money and just build something different.
Sure.
I'm just wondering, with the economy picking up and all the good news that we're hearing from you and the county executive, what do they need these credits?
Well, they get them by right, certain credits by right, because
And what was the mix
in our
again?
code, the mix of units. I think what we said is that they could be anything from 80% affordable to 100%. And I think what we're looking for is on that site is that to be, because it's in the QCT, for that to be the last major affordable project in that area. And then trying to focus on market rate after that.
How many would we have downtown now
How many residential units?
of affordable?
There's not a single one
Well,
in
what
the
about
downtown.
all of River's
Okay.
Edge?
In downtown proper, there's not a single affordable unit, and there's 90 units in River's Edge.
And they're not affordable?
They are, yeah. So if you include that, 90.
All right, and how many are they?
60, 65, and the marina's about 60.
Is that included in the downtown area?
It depends. There's no,
Yeah.
there is literally no definition of downtown. The downtown master plan is the closest thing we have defining downtown. And there's
think it's in
central
downtown.
business district,
You
there's
think
all
it's in
sorts of.
downtown?
Yeah.
Think
So,
River's Edge is in downtown?
yeah. So if you use the downtown master plan boundaries, 90?
No.
And this would be a possible another 60,
Or 80% of the
80% of
60.
60,
Yeah.
48.
So the
Do we anticipate any more?
52 is
in
what they're saying
downtown?
right now.
He just said this is to be the last.
This is the last, because again, I only asked the question because of, it is wonderful that people have affordable housing and it will be new and the doors will close and the ice cube will not roll down the street, roll down the kitchen floor as in every old house that I've ever lived in. But there will be an effect in our neighborhoods as people come out of the neighborhood houses that we have that are going to live there. So, but this is fine with me. I appreciate it, and I remember these guys, so.
Here, you have some questions?
No, I'm good.
Mrs. Mitchell, questions?
No, I don't have any. Thank you.
One thing worth mentioning is there's also about 12,000 square feet of retail or marketplace on the ground floor. And so they're actively pursuing a couple different ways to execute that.
Questions? No. All right, do we have consensus now?
Yes.
All right, we have consensus. Thank you. Before I go on, I have to apologize to our county councilman, county council executive, Mr. Bob Culver. Wayne is here. He brought the whole crew. Okay. Is there anybody here for anything other than the enterprise zone? Okay, well, welcome everyone. Glad to have you. Mr. Ryan. Speaking of which, the enterprise zone. Ms. Korjakowski, please. Come on up. Come on down.
So I think I'll give you guys just a little bit of background on how this reached your guys' desks, and then we can go ahead and bring up some of the members from the county council, county executive office to kind of discuss their reason for requesting this. County Executive Bob Culver recently approached the Planning and Zoning Department to see if a expansion of the enterprise zone to the airport was feasible. They did some research with the Maryland Department of Commerce, and they were able to find a way to make it work. And as the city serves as the enterprise zone administrator, we would be the actual ones putting forth the application. So after consulting with the mayor's office, we had approval to start working with them, and we were able to find a way to make it work. The current enterprise zone is about 4,200 acres. The expansion with the airport would add an additional 1,000.52. And I can, if you guys would like to come forward to kind of give the reason.
Oh, good.
So you can go park zoning and station.
And then there should have been some smaller maps included in your packet
Yeah,
as
they're
well.
tough.
Well, it's tough to pull up
It's
on
tough to pull
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
It takes a half hour to get the thing to load.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
I was able to put in some of the ones that show county-owned land in the priority funding area, and then these ones will show the existing enterprise zone with the proposed airport expansion. And then this one will call out the actual parcels that would be in the expanded area. Should I bring it closer?
No. I can, okay. I'm all right. My hearing's bad, but my eyesight is not bad. So. Didn't we, it looks like, specifically, the commercial park across the street, is that in here?
The one that Henry Hanna,
That one that's
That's sitting
not in
across the street from the airport.
that was not added.
Didn't I did not see a map with that in it? I
You
thought
saw
I did.
a map with it, that one just called out, the priority funding area, and that's actually outside the priority funding area, so they couldn't
Only in
include
Maryland
this.
could the priority funding area be inside the outside of the priority funding area.
Well, in order to have the expansion, it has,
Just, I can see, I
I got
can't
confused.
see, I can hear. That's my problem, Jack.
You hear too much.
I got confused. Okay, so it is not.
it is not.
Is the area, I don't know if that's south or east of the airport where, say, the UPS, is it
FedEx?
UPS that's out there?
FedEx.
Is it FedEx?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it delivery?
FedEx.
That's not in there?
That is included.
That
FedEx, I
That is.
believe the Humane
Humane
Society's in
Society, that
there.
area.
So Johnson Road, all the way down that far,
They're connecting by Mahama Road
by STEM.
and Airport
Look
Road.
at you giggle. Look, you trying to hold back that giggle.
We're gerrymandering this line here to make this work.
Yeah, I understand.
That'll work. When this first came up, there was a discussion, about going to the airport, and one of my questions was, how do we get there? And is it legal for us to adopt the road bed to do it? And I got on the Department of Planning and Maryland Department of Commerce website, and Cecil County has some areas that are 5 miles apart. From one area to another, it's connected by a road bed.
So there is precedent.
There is precedent, we're not establishing something new.
Just checking.
As a matter of fact, I got an email from Department of Commerce saying that this is not a precedent setting, and they've been doing this in the past. There would not be anything would be unlikely to be approved or disapproved because of this type of configuration. So as you go down Airport Road, go down to Folks Road, and there's a little business park that they've been working on over the years. There's FedEx, there's a state police helicopter there, and Purdue are all down in this area down here. There's also some hangars up in here for Bayland and, I say, what other occupants.
Yeah, it's the FBO.
Yeah, you've got corporate hangars all along here, and Bayland, maybe that's there. And the infield could be developed.
So, Mr. Council President, I assume that everything that's in our enterprise zone now is inside the city limits, correct?
It's not.
No.
I think I forget,
Well, 99.9% of it?
yep.
Yeah, okay. So does the airport have any interest in coming in? I mean, that would just be my question to whomever the entities are out there that will be
Yeah.
making the request for credits within,
That would be something I could.
because that's how we'll get it, right? We'll get we'll get requests to, internal services for reductions in, yeah, and what else will we get? Depreciation of,
The-
EDU requests probably won't happen until there's water, which is a project that the county's working on right now, but at some point, theoretically, yes.
They could
If
come.
it's in the enterprise zone, they could ask for EDU credits.
But strictly, the enterprise zone program is state income tax credits for new hires. So any businesses that are currently located but add jobs after it's designated as an enterprise zone could apply. And then there's this real property tax credit for improvements over $50,000, which, seeing as a lot of it is county land, might not necessarily apply depending on the leasing situation.
Mr. Ryan, could you, I had called you about the occupancy of the current
Yeah,
parks
come up.
in the city.
Okay, to come up, right?
Sure.
Okay, I understand. We're here now, but
Yeah. Could you just maybe give the information to the council you gave me so that
Yeah, I think Council President asked as to the build-out, or if not occupancy, at least the build-out of Northwood Industrial Park and I think Westwood Commerce Park. I don't know that we have specific numbers on Northwood, but it's high. It's 90% range. There are parcels available for development. There's existing parcels that are owned by someone that could expand on those parcels. So there's development opportunity still. I don't want to mitigate that, but very high build out in Northwood. Westwood's a newer industrial park, 265 acres, and roughly 80%, 75 to 80% is available for additional development. So 20-25% range is about that. I also added, if I may, that the airport represents quite a different niche in development opportunities. So if you have a plane, you're not going to construct in Northwood. This is a different niche, and I think it's a good niche that allows us the opportunity to pursue other industry sectors.
I would ask also, if I could, that when you speak, could you speak into the microphones, because Ms. Mitchell's having a little bit of a problem hearing us. Okay? Is that better, Laura? Laura? Hello?
Maybe say Laura.
No wonder she's having
I
some.
keep you muted so you don't hear my sound, so it takes a
Oh,
minute.
okay. You can hear us, though.
Yes, I can now. Thank
Great.
you.
Okay. Sorry. Any other questions?
Please, Mr. President.
Go right ahead.
I was just going to ask Dave, when you say there are other opportunities, what are those opportunities and what will the infrastructure needs be from the bypass? What will the infrastructure needs be from Route 12? Are we talking big trucks? What are we talking about?
It's hard to say, but the focus has been aeronautical development, and I think the Airport Commission, along with the county, has been very careful not to utilize land without a need for runway access, and we don't make any more of that. So preservation of that for aeronautical uses, I think, is critical to our to the development of the airport. You know, people often compare the airport to Georgetown, and Georgetown's a terrific airport. It's a terrific community, and a lot of activity going on there. It's also their primary industrial park. So if we took Northwood and overlaid it to our airport, then it would be a whole lot of activity out there. We've chosen, I think, in a smart way over many, many years, not me, but over many years, to focus that limited land of runway access for aeronautical uses. And I suspect that to be the case in the future. So how that impacts the highway would be pure speculation at this point, but typically focus on aeronautical uses.
And I'm assuming that based on the fact that we're looking to expand the length of the runway, it doesn't impact the potential areas for, that's, if you look at the map, it shouldn't be anywhere near that.
Yeah, it doesn't interfere
Okay.
with that at all.
Okay. Other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do we have consensus on this?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Ard?
Yeah, but it just seems very quick. Something this big just shows up. There it is. There's a map. It just like a little bit more time to think about questions and stuff. But I'm okay with it. It just seems very fast.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I can speak a little to that. The reason it came up so quickly was the deadline for application is October 15th. So we had to get in guys in front of you because they anticipate that the census tract could potentially change after January and make that area ineligible. So
Is there something going on out there that we don't know about that it would make it eligible?
demographics could change, numbers could change, yes.
Enough to make it ineligible?
We never know.
Yeah.
I mean, all of a
based on
sudden,
the
there's
answers that they said to us.
60 houses with a median income of $190,000 just around the airport.
If
I'm just asking, and I see the former council president giggling along with me because we've been through, we've all been here with all this before. You can't do an election map like this. You can't do annexation like this. But lo and behold, one can do enterprise zone like this, which is fine and it makes us giggle. I just, in lieu of what we might expect the area to be asking the county to give the credits for, and with all due respect to Mr. Ryan, we've got aeronautical industries. Am I paraphrasing you correctly? We've got when I asked the question, what are we gonna do out there? What would it be? What would the infrastructure we need? It's aeronautical industries. Now, I mean, for me, that's propellers, and it's wheels, and it's, I don't know what else is an aeronautical industry? And I'm only asking these questions for the edification of the public so that somebody else might know what's going on out there, that's all. But I'm fine with voting yes and moving it forward.
Okay.
It just seems incredibly quick for Salisbury, Wycomico County to do something like this, and that makes my ears go like this a little bit, but all these smiling faces, Mr. Council President, must mean we should do it.
I look at it as more of a setup. I mean, it's not like, once we do it, in November it's gonna
Right.
happen. I mean, this is something that probably 1, 2, 3 years down the road, we're able to do it. And if something comes up, we've done it, we've
It's
laid the
already done.
groundwork,
Just
and
do
we
it.
can move forward,
Yeah.
not have to try to figure out, can we do it 3 years down the road? It's just more of a setup for future industry.
Ah, Lord, I wish I really knew what was going on. Mr. Council President, I bet.
Well, you don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you, Mr.
Something
Acton.
must
We
be
have
going on.
we have consensus.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We don't know.
We'll move on. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Aeronautical.
I love this place. That's aeronautical business.
Behave
Oh,
yourself.
okay.
Contain yourself.
Where are we?
Bill Holland.
Bill, you're up. Nice to have you, Mr. Holland.
Answer's no. Oh,
You're messing around.
Before you is a draft resolution, which we're requesting that building for permit fees for construction costs for handicap accessibility ramps be waived for homes, one and two family type dwellings. Last year, FY16, we brought in revenue of $140 for ramps that were constructed within the city. They got permits. Typically, a residential ramp, construction cost ranges between $1,000, $2,000. A permit fee is a flat fee, 0 up to $3,000 is $40. And, with this in mind, some of these, all these cases are usually hardship cases.
Yeah.
People have physical disabilities, have really extremely limited income. One organization has really been helping out,
Chesapeake Housing.
Chesapeake Housing Mission. And, not only they provide the drawings, I think they provide the labor, the materials, and I don't think $40 is too much to ask for the city to be able to waive the permit fees for this type of projects.
I would just make the council aware, I'm sure you are aware that Bill is exactly right. I take part in building the ramps, and I've done many, and most of the time, the people are so grateful.
Right.
And I think this is the least we can do,
Yeah.
so.
Mr. President, if I
Yeah.
may, Salisbury Fire Department has participated in quite a few builds. Salisbury Police Department did one a couple weeks ago. And the fire department and the police and Public Works are joining forces to do one together in a couple weeks. So, just,
And
the
all
impact is real.
All of the Rotary
felt
clubs do the same.
citywide.
We all participate, so it's a great thing, I think, the least we can do. Do we have consensus on this?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Ms. Glanz, we're going to talk about bicycle routes on West Isabella.
We are, good evening.
Good evening.
In front of you is an ordinance to lay the groundwork for laying a bike route on West Isabella from the intersection at Route 50 to the intersection at Delaware Avenue. The bike lanes will be proposed to go in both directions with a mix of share lanes and dedicated bike lanes. And there'll be minimal disturbance to, well, none really, unchanged width for parking and such. So funding will follow after, if this is approved. This is just the first step to putting in a bike lane, and will definitely help those in the neighborhood and travel through that area, making a safer travel lane.
It's a Sharrow.
What's a Sharrow?
No, I'm saying, it is a Sharrow.
It can be both. Parts of it will be dedicated, and some might be Sharrow.
Okay.
And this will be done after they've paved the,
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes,
we're not
this
gonna,
is-
yeah, we're not gonna, yeah.
All in coordination with the
Yes.
five points redo of the.
yeah.
Right.
Which will be open on the 24th,
Yeah, I think so.
23rd, or 24th. Should be next Friday.
Good.
It was supposed to be open on the 16th, and it's, they've run into some nasty things underground.
And this, funding hasn't been allocated for this project yet. You know, Public Works will go after grants and that sort of thing, but this is just saying we can go forward with that.
That's great.
Mhm.
Okay. Questions? Do we have consensus?
What do we do when we
Oh,
go
sorry.
up Isabella Street? I know it says when we get to when it becomes much more tiny going across. What do we do when we get up to Isabella Street coming through Newtown when we go like that? Does anybody know what the bike route looks like? Well, that made me giggle, but
No,
I did,
sir.
and I'm sorry.
We don't
No,
know.
sir, but that is a really good question.
There's a dangerous bike route on there.
It's more of a three-wheeler trike type situation, big wheel, maybe?
Is there,
It
the
hasn't been-
motorized ones,
It hasn't
right?
been discussed at BPAC yet.
Well, and at some point it's going to need to be, but
Right.
one of the things that we'll probably need to do is apply for grants to actually do that design work as one of the grants. Because frankly, I don't think you get through there on Isabella. I think you find an alternate route. Biking North Division can be really comfortable if the cars are respectful.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of the slow rides up there, and cars are pretty good on North Division. On Isabella, it might be a little tougher. So if you,
That's the obstacle course.
yeah, it is. So if you push the cars up, or the bicycles up North Division, then onto another street to get across or over to 13 or across 13 into Church Street to Overdale neighborhoods, that could be a good way to go. But eventually, you're going to want to get across. And it may already be laid out, a route may already be laid out in the
On
draft
that- on
master
that-
plan.
I don't remember
I don't
seeing
remember
it.
either.
I don't remember seeing it.
That'll be here.
I'll bring that up at the
before long.
next bike meeting. All right, we have consensus on this?
Yep.
Ms. Mitchell? Take us off mute.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Other items?
I just wondered if, we got the thing today from the Tri-County Council that they wanted
Yes.
a replacement. Could Councilwoman Mitchell come off mute and give us a 5-minute overview of what she does or what she's done there for the last couple of years?
Mrs. Mitchell, can you unmute and give us a little idea? Make it sound simple so that I can get somebody to...
You're gonna have to repeat the question because it was very broken up. I didn't hear it.
All right, the question, go ahead.
No, you
Just
go
do
ahead.
it. The question is, could you enlighten us as to the responsibilities and timing on the Tri-County Council?
There are quarterly meetings, generally rotates between the three counties. So Worcester, Somerset, Wycomico, I believe the upcoming one would be in September, so September, January. Actually, they just had a meeting. They went to, or tomorrow, they're going to Smith Island. And they're doing their meeting as part of that economic development trip. So there wouldn't be another one until probably January. It's typically an evening dinner meeting, but sometimes it is a trip to Wallops or a trip to Smith Island or something along those lines. Dave is usually involved when those things happen. That's primarily it. There will be other things that pop up, helping out at MACO or MML, representing them, usually MACO. That's about it.
Okay,
Can you give us an idea of what's on the agenda sometimes, Laura?
It's a lot about shore transit, because we do manage shore transit. That has lightened up a lot since the state insurance rides are no longer through shore transit, they're done with taxis. The budget usually takes a couple of meetings a year. That's not extensive, but sometimes there are delays in getting money from the state, so they have to work with a line of credit that they use to supplement until those funds come in. They're awarded, but actually receiving the check is a different thing. That's often on the agenda. The other things are generally with the Rural Maryland Council, with the Rural Maryland Health Council, and Economic Development.
okay. Thank you, that was good. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about the letter?
Yes, we're gonna,
Oh, we're gonna do that, okay.
yeah. The mayor, can we just confirm about the letter for Wallops?
Sure.
Want to give us some update,
Yeah, give me one
what we
second.
decided?
Just a second. So, as you may know, Wallops Island is one of a few locations, one of 3 locations in the United States that is finalist for the Triton Unmanned Aerial System Program, which would bring 400 additional jobs. The MQ-4C Triton is a very, very large unmanned system, and there's a similar size system that already flies out of Wallops. So our region is a finalist, and they are looking for letters of support. The letters of support will go to the Navy. The competitors are Key West in Florida, and then Naval Station Mayport in Florida, and us. So it's estimated to bring about $14 billion in investment in the area. And as you may know, a vast majority of NASA's and their supporting engineers and employees live in Salisbury and work down at Wallops. So we want to obviously continue to support job growth in the area. And so they've requested, the Chairman Peter Bale of the Wallops Island Regional Alliance has requested a letter of support from us. We have a draft that's been put together. It's being reviewed in my office now, and then we'll send it to you for your approval and signature.
Great.
Okay.
Anything else?
And we're saying Wednesday on that? Wednesday.
Do you need us to come by and sign?
I'll coordinate with Kim, but that would probably be best.
Okay.
I'll sign it before Wednesday. We'll get it
Good.
on your desk.
You got a question, Mayor?
No, just that one item I talked to you about before the meeting.
Go right ahead.
That's discussed. And maybe Mark can look into this. Some cities around the country, I know Baltimore is looking at doing it, and some other cities already have, is banning the sale of the imitation pellet guns, that if they're being sold in the city.
Imitation handguns.
Or imitation handguns, but they're like the pellet gun BB guns. We're seeing kids around the country getting killed because police think that they have a real gun, and then they're chasing them down. And so one city in California, or a couple of jurisdictions in California, have what they call the Imitation Firearm Safety Act, which bans pellet and BB guns unless they are painted in bright colors such as red or pink. And I know some of our major retailers, I work for one, they do sell them, and these guns look and feel real. I know in my previous position, I've had on several occasions where police were researching the sale of them because they were used in robberies and stuff by kids. So I don't know if there's something that we can look into and possibly drafting something and discussing it in the future. Okay, thank you.
Great. Good thought. Anything else for the good of the order? No? Hearing no other issues or items? We are adjourned.